y'all, hey, it's your girl Sexy Lexi coming back with another reaction video. So y'all, these are some crazy videos, crazy story times that I done found on the internet. If you would like to send me some videos, y'all make sure to check my description so you can send me videos. I'm trying to figure out a way to where you guys can send me videos to where I can share videos that you guys send as well. But let's get to the video, and it's nice to see you guys. I hope you had an awesome day, an awesome night. If you haven't eaten, eat some food, eat some fruit, eat some vegetables. Let's get to it. Alright.
One of how I lost my best friend of over 13 years because I was no longer fat. Let's talk about it. I never really wanted to talk about this because I value this friendship so much, but I'm gonna literally talk about the first time that I realized I was no longer fat and it was causing competition issues between us. So I briefly talked about this, but I'm gonna really thoroughly talk about the situation at brunch. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, y'all gonna find out here. So the first time I realized I was no longer fat anymore because I had body dysmorphia was when I went to this brunch. My friend invited me to a brunch because she does certain work. I don't want to say what, but she got invited to do work at this event. Alright, she brought me there as a +1. So it was a brunch event, so I decided to sit down and eat my brunch because I did not want to stop her in the midst of her working because I know she was a perfectionist, so I wanted her to get her pictures and everything she needed to do. So I sat by myself completely and I started eating brunch. A bunch of people started to join my table, just random people. They started introducing themselves, women and men. So all these people are randomly sitting with me. I'm having a conversation with all these people, and literally, lo and behold, a light-skinned man walks into the room. I see him. He's cute. I don't even like light-skinned men like that at the time. I really was a dark-skinned girl. But when I see him, I'm like, oh, he's fine. I want to talk to him. And I used to do that all the time, but I did not really think I could talk to him because I had never had like a pretty light-skinned boy like talk to me when I was plus size. Just never had it. So I wasn't really thinking too much of it because I still had body dysmorphia. Well, lo and behold, that man decided to randomly sit beside me. Mind you, he didn't see me see him. He just randomly chose to sit beside me. So he sat beside me. He started chatting. Mind you, me and my friend is nowhere to be found. He hasn't seen her. He don't even know we're friends or nothing like that. So he sits down, he starts chatting with me, asking me about like my life, what I do. Like he just chatting it up real bad. And I'm like, dang, he really talking to me. But you know, I'm thinking too, like, where's my friend? Because she is taking forever to come back. So literally, I don't remember the text message, but at one point I text like, where are you at? Or she texts me or something like that because I'm really wondering where she at. She finally gets to the table. Soon as she gets to the table, he says, hey, we're going to say Mallory. Hey, Mallory. And I'm like, oh, they know each other. And then she said, hey. And then he tells me, oh, I'll be right back to reconnect with you. I'm going to go get my unlimited mimosas. So I'm like, okay, cool, respectfully, do you? You know, I don't know him yet or nothing like that. And then my friend Mallory presses me like, oh, what was y'all talking about? What was he talking to you about? Was he trying to talk to you? Was he trying to talk to you? Like, she pressing me hard, and I'm like, I don't even know. Think so, but he didn't ask for my number. He didn't ask for nothing. Before we go outside, she says, oh, that is the guy that took me on a date that 3 years ago. His ex popped up and he kissed his ex in front of her and left her at the bar. I said, whoa, I don't even remember this story. Apparently she told me this story in college. Well, if he tries to talk to me, I will dead it. Like, I won't talk to him. Respectfully, you're my best friend. So when we get outside, he comes back. He's pretty bossy. After he found out that is my friend, he didn't know that was my friend. But now you know that when we was outside in front of my friend, mind you, my friend was there and a couple other girls. Those two girls walked away. My friend walked away and left me there by myself with light skin. Right? He literally tells me, oh, like, I want to talk to you. I want to take you on a date, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, no, like, my friend told me that y'all had a situation. Y'all went on a date and you did her so wrong. You're wrong for that. Like, you really are wrong for that. And then he's like, yeah, I was a different person. Like, I need to apologize. I'm like, yes, you need to apologize, but it's nothing gonna happen with me and you. Like, he went to try to apologize. She didn't want the apology. She kind of was over it. She came back to me. I told her I dubbed it. He did ask me on a date, but I said no, nothing, no concerns, right? We moved to the next spot. This man so happens to come to the next spot. We went to some other guys invited us to a section. These guys took us to breakfast bar and put us in the section with them, right? Boom, we in the section. Light skin ends up coming to breakfast bar. He ends up coming by the section, trying to dance by me, and I'm like, no. Really disrespectful because my best friend was right there. By the time we leave, I end up going on Hinge at one point, and he ends up liking me on Hinge. So I'm like, how did this man find me on Hinge? Like, it was some days after the situation. So I screenshotted it and I sent it to my best friend at the time just to tell her, like, girl, like, this man up here trying to like me on Hinge to the left, like, just so she could know. I don't know, y'all can tell me if that's wrong, but I was trying to tell her, like, he's trying to, like, low-key like me on Hinge, but I'm not going. So that's practically what I did, was send her that. And she was like, oh, he wants you real or bad. Right. So I just put the laughing emoji. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking it's a joke. Like, I'm thinking, like, we both, I don't know, he's a freaking a-hole. We don't give, right? But I learned that was the first thing that affected our friendship, because before, when I was plus size, I was not pulling the same type of guys that she was pulling. Like, she really liked light-skinned pretty boys, and I wasn't attracting those type, and I didn't really find that as my type because I wasn't attracting them. So this part one. Y'all gotta go to part two to understand what situations start to happen between us that started causing even more problems. Okay. After the brunch situation happened with me and her, I didn't realize that it affected our relationship. So after that happened, I remember she wanted to do weight loss coaching with me. Mind you, I had lost 158 pounds. I was 326 pounds at one point. I don't think she ever thought I was going to get smaller than her. And when she realized I was getting smaller than her, it was making her feel a certain way. So at this point, she ended up signing up for weight loss coaching with me. At this time, I was still new, so I was doing free clients. I was trying to build my portfolio, so I have before and after pictures. So I was asking people I knew if they wanted to do the coaching, or they were asking me. So at this point, she wanted to work with me. I said, okay, cool, perfect, let's do this. I won't charge you, but you have to, like, let me use before and after pictures. So she agreed to this, but she wasn't doing any of the stuff that she was supposed to do with the weight loss coaching. And she also was questioning if I was even certified. When I told her, oh, I got certified in weight loss coaching, I finished my certificate, she was like, oh, that fast? And I'm like, yeah, like, when I'm teaching you for free, first of all. I told her before, I said, oh, I would love to be 150 pounds. I would love to be 150 pounds because before my first goal weight was to be 250. I used to think 250 was skinny. So once I got way below 250, I was like, oh, I want to be 150. You know how you just move your goal? And she gaslit me to think that 150 was too small. She was like, oh, when I was 150, I was just very, like, skinny. I was too scrawny. Like, I didn't look right. I looked sick and all that. Like, 150 is too small. And I was like, oh, well, that's, like, supposed to be my weight for my BMI because I'm 5'6", so that's like an ideal weight for me. And she's like, BMIs are made up and blah blah blah. She like started dragging it. So I'm like, maybe 150 is too small. I ain't never been 150. So I was like, maybe you're right. Y'all, lo and behold, she puts down her goal weight, and why her goal weight like 148. So that kind of blew me. So it's like, you don't want me to be 150, but you want to be below 150. Like that. Mind you, at this time, she was doing weird stuff, so I started just taking notes of it because people be saying I'm crazy because I'm intuitive. I already knew she was acting weird, but I was like, no, let me take notes and jot down the things she started doing. So that was one thing. One day we went to Lululemon, and we're going to name her Mallory because that's the name I put from the first one. Me and Mallory went to Lululemon, and I was showing her the little crop jackets that I like now. You know, now that I could fit in Lululemon, I started wearing the crop jackets, and she tried it on, and she's like, oh, it just doesn't look right on me, my shoulders, it just looks better on your shoulders. And she would compare herself to me, and I'm like, girl, like, you're fine, like, you look fine. Mind you, I used to be big, girl, like, you're small, like, what are we chatting about? I remember one time we went to an eating event because she was in a certain industry. Everything involved food. And I told her, like, oh, like, I've been eating out all week because I came from a vacation or something. And we went to a wine fest or something. And I was like, I don't want to be eating too much stuff. She's like, it's just one day. It's just one day. You can eat. So I was like, she just started changing. Like, she came from, like, this super nice person to, like, this kind of, like, rude person to me, like, for no reason. And then when we would go out, I started to notice that guys would flock to me only, and it started to eat her pride alive. So one night in specific, we go to this bar. There's about 3 dudes there. When I'm there, I'm telling her, because every time we started to go out, once I lost weight, she started to be like looking angry. Every time we go out, she'll just sit there like this. Like, she didn't want nothing to do with nobody. She didn't want to dance. And mind you, before, when I was plus size, she was my twerk buddy. Like, we're dancing, we're twerking, we shaking our tables on the floor, all of that, right? So I was like, this is kind of weird. Every time we go outside, she not trying to be outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, she looked stuck up and angry. So we went to breakfast bar this one day, and there was multiple guys there, right? Because they was in some type of fraternity from Houston type shit. So I was telling her, because I was seeing the girls dance with the guy and all that, and he was like doing his thing and all that. I'm like, girl, you should go up there, you should dance with him, you should dance with him. She's like, I'm not dancing with him, I'm not dancing with him, you can dance with him. And I'm like, oh, okay, like, shoot, I will, because I like to have a good time. So, yeah, I started dancing with him, and it started getting wild already. Y'all know how the fraternity, like, be doing, yes, because I'm here for a good time, not a long time. So, when I was dancing with the one frat guy, my drink spilled. So, his friend was like, oh, let me get you another drink, because my homie spilled your drink. So, I'm like, okay, cool, like, so I get a free drink. Mind you, my friend Mallory is used to getting free drinks and stuff like that. I don't think he bought her a free drink, so that probably, like, irritated her spirit. At this time, I didn't know she had low self-esteem issues, because when I was big, that was never her thing. So he got me a drink. Then his other homie was there, and my friend was like, oh, Mallory was like, oh, I want to talk to him. I'm like, oh, girl, go ahead, talk to him, like, talk to him or whatever. She goes to talk to him, and then she comes back to me and was like, oh, he said he want to talk to you. And I'm like, what you mean, like, talk to me? Like, what? Because you see, I just danced with your homie. What do you mean, talk to me? Like, I'm thinking, like, what do you mean, talk? And she's like, and I'm like, so I'm like, what's going on? So I was like, let me actually go talk to him. Like, I'm not thinking he really trying to talk to me in that type of way. Like, I was drunk, y'all. So I go talk to him, like, oh, what's going on? She's saying, like, you want to talk to me about something or something. And then he was like, and he got quiet. And he got awkward. I said, what happened here? I didn't know what y'all was talking about. So that night, it got very weird. So there was another guy in the section in another place, and she was like, oh, he's cute, da da da. I'm like, well, talk to him. Like, nobody was talking to her, because I think she was having a stank attitude. She's a beautiful girl. Like, I think her energy was just off. So she's like, oh no, he should come over. I keep seeing him look at us. But he won't talk to us. Like, and I'm like, well, shit. I mean, not that serious. So after the bar, y'all, the guys was like, oh, y'all should come to our hotel. Y'all should hang out with our hotel. Blah, blah, blah. And she was like, oh, like, we should go to their hotel. You want to go to their hotel? And I'm like, hell no. Why would I want to go to their hotel? If you ain't trying to crack it open like a crab, why are we going to some man's hotel? No gracias. There's 3 dudes, and why are we going to their hotel? So I was like, no, I'm good. Let's get out here. She's like, you don't want to go? And I'm like, is you cool? Because she never act like this before. So we get out of the bar, y'all, and the guy that I was dancing with, he ended up hugging me goodbye. I ended up hugging him goodbye. He ended up lifting me up in the air and, like, just bouncing me up in the air. Y'all, I didn't ask for him to pick me up. He picked me up, but that was my second time getting picked up around her, like, for no reason. So at this point, she's like, let's go to Pizza Luce. She loved Pizza Luce. Whatever, let's go. So we get there, and she starts telling me about how she keeps going out, and she feels worse and worse about herself every time she goes out now. Nothing's out there for her. So I was like, oh, girl, don't feel like that. Every time you go out, you don't have to meet a guy. It doesn't have to be about finding a man. Like, you could just go have fun. And I was used to her being the fun friend, but every single time we started going out after I lost weight, I was never having fun with her. Even on my birthday, y'all, when we went out for my birthday, I was dancing with my other friend. We're going to name my other friend Nancy, because she needs a name in this part. So Nancy, I was dancing with Nancy the whole time and twerking with Nancy, but Mallory, which is the friend, my best friend of 13 years, Mallory was just sitting there like not wanting to dance. So I started distancing myself from her, but before I started distancing myself from her, I had told her that I was going to be performing at a poetry night. So I told her one time I was going to perform at this poetry night, and it was going to be my first performance ever, and it was some deep stuff I was going to perform. I wrote poems about my life and my trauma and the things I've been through as a child. And when the day came for me to perform, my best friend at that time, Mallory, DM'd me and was like, oh, I'll see you tonight. I'll be there, boo. And I was like, dang, she remembered? Because I started feeling in my spirit I did not want her to go. Like in my stomach, in my gut, I was feeling anxious. I'm like, I don't...
You're single?
Very, extremely.
Why?
I dated a guy.
I lost my best friend of 13 years because I was no longer the fat friend. And I was like, dang, she remembered? Because I started feeling in my spirit I did not want her to go. Like in my stomach, in my gut, I was feeling anxious. I'm like, I don't want her to go. I don't feel like it's right. I don't think I should be around her. And so at this point, it was already too late. Mind y'all, also, I believe in psychics, okay? I had a psychic already told me that this girl, specifically my best friend Mallory, that I should stop hanging out with her, period. And I never told the psychic about her. She was just like, whoever you hang out with tonight, you need not be hanging out with her no more, or God gonna show you. Mind y'all, when my psychic told me that, that was the night that all that stuff happened at the bar, where she started saying she feel worse and worse about herself every time she goes out. Nobody wants her. That was the night I was not supposed to go out with her, but I still did. And then the poetry thing happened after that. So she said, I'm gonna be there, boo. And I was like, okay, that's kind of weird because she'll never call me boo, but cool. I was like, I already kind of invited her. So y'all, we get there. And another thing that my psychic told me is that she thinks that I work for her, like, or I'm like one of her, she couldn't explain it, but like kind of below her. And I was like, whoa, like, I never noticed that. I don't think I noticed that. You know, I was being very, like, delusional because I didn't want to see it because this was my best friend for 13 years. So I'm like, oh, whatever. I'm still going to see through with my friend. I don't care. So, y'all, we get there and you got to write down, I forgot the prompt. The prompt is, like, something about what is something that, like, bothers you or makes you feel bad about yourself or something like that. Something in the sense of that. Something deep. We get the prompt. And she asked me, oh, can you go get me a pencil or whatever? And I'm like, oh, sure, you know, no problem. Because I had to go get me a pencil too. So I didn't think nothing of it. But then she was like, oh, I bring back the pencil. And I'm like, I'm about to go get a drink real quick at the little bar. And she was like, oh, and while you're over there, can you take a picture of the menu for me and bring it back? Mind you, she's sitting here. The bar is like right there. And I'm like, and it's like a little hood, not hood, but it's like a little small poetry open mic. Why you need to see the menu, girl? Go up there, order your drink. But I was like, oh, girl, I don't really think they have a menu. So I was like, oh, I don't even think they have a menu here. Like, she's like, I don't know, I think I've seen one. So, bitch, if you've seen it, why would you go up there and just order your fucking... So I was like, okay, bitch, she's being weird. But I was like, all right, I don't care. I took a picture and brought it back to her. And I had said something, and referring to my nails at the time, y'all, duck nails were in, and I said, "Oh yeah, my butterflies or something like that." And she said, "Oh yeah, I seen your nails. They're chunky." Mind you, she had never come for me before, or this part, and Mike is actually. I lost my best friend of 13 years because I was no longer the fat friend. Did she call my nails chunky? So, like, she already trying to fuck up my night before I even perform. Camera guy, right? Is this camera guy, whatever. He got the camera. I'm like, oh, he got like, hell. Nancy also comes to the poetry night because she's performing as well. So I said, oh, he's kind of cute. And then that's when Mallory, my ex-best friend, was like, oh, I think he's cute too. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, all right, like, I don't care. Like, she literally started seeing me like as competition, and me and Nancy end up like having a conversation about something. So me and Nancy are talking back and forth to each other, and Mallory's like right here, and we're talking across Mallory. So Mallory's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And then she pushes herself away and then walks away and goes to the bathroom. And I'm like, what is that about? Like, why do you have to be extra? Y'all, so I go up there and I perform, and I'm performing some deep stuff, like about my childhood trauma, about like how I grew up, all the bad things that happened to me that my best friend never even knew. Nobody in my life knew about besides my close knit family. Like, yeah. And something told me to not have her record. Y'all, I have to try to find the recording, but she asked, oh, do you want me to record? I had my camera set up, y'all, my vlogging camera, because I do YouTube stuff that way, and then she had my phone. When I tell you, when I went back to go look at the video, it was so pixelated. Looks like it was shot off of iPhone 12. Like, it was so, and she's a perfectionist. This is a content creator. In like 12 years, so since I was a kid. So when I seen that she filmed me on purpose, very blurry, I was like, wow, like this girl is straight up envious and jealous of me. Like, she's vindictive. Like, she talked about my nails, she tried to make my video bad, she tried to make my whole performance day very bad. Then she went to go try to say, oh, Nancy, I can record you, because I took my phone out and I was recording Nancy's performance, because that's what I usually do. Me and Nancy always go and do open mics together. So I pull out my phone to record Nancy, and Mallory tells Nancy that, oh, I can record you, as soon as she seen me starting to record. And so Nancy was like, okay. So it was like she was in a competition to record Nancy. I'm like, I don't care. Like, girl, she records Nancy, and then she's like, oh yeah, I got a good one, I got all the, like, and she was being like dramatic like this, like, but you weren't doing that for me. Then the next day she had the nerve to comment on Nancy's Instagram like, oh, you did great last night, or you did so amazing. But she has never, ever, ever commented on any of my Instagram posts. I lost my best friend of 13 years because I was no longer the fat friend. She was doing all this weird stuff against me at my performance. I was there performing poetry. We had to do a prompt where we write down what's something that kind of makes us feel bad or upsets us or whatever that we are dealing with. And so she had wrote down that one thing that really like upsets her is rejection. She cannot take rejection, and she feels really bad about herself when she feels rejected. So I was like, whoa, I had never known that about her before. And when she said that, and seeing the sadness and stuff in her eyes when she said it, it made me understand why she started treating me differently after I lost 158 pounds, because she started getting rejected by all of the guys that she would usually want to date. So me, Mallory, and Nancy take a picture together. When I went back and looked at the picture that we took together, I could just see in Mallory's eyes just nothing but darkness. Like nothing but darkness, sadness, and depression. And when I seen her in that picture, I was like, this doesn't even look like my best friend of 13 years. And I did know in those times that she was going through some stuff family-wise. And that's why I let a lot of stuff in the beginning of the story slide, because I understood, my lifestyle changed. Maybe I can't do all the things that you love that I used to do all the time. Like go out to eat with you 24/7. And I'm changing. Maybe you are going through family stuff. So let me try to like see it through and try to just give you the benefit of the doubt. But after the night when she talked about my nails and calling them chunky and recording me like poorly on purpose and commenting on my friend's picture but not commenting on my picture, like literally coming against me and like literally coming against me and like literally being vindictive, I was like, I cannot trust this girl. So the biggest thing with me, I'm a Pisces. Once I can't trust you, I can't fuck with you. No matter if I can try to forgive you and get past it, once I don't trust you, we can no longer be friends. I don't care if we've been friends for 20,000 years. We will not be friends no more, because I don't even want to be around you, because what's the next thing you're going to do when you feeling bad about yourself? So at this point, y'all, what I did, I was feeling down after the poetry night, because the poetry night stopped being about my first performance and me finally doing something I used to be scared of, turned into a night all about her and me feeling bad about, dang, like I'm really losing my friend and this person is not who I thought she was, and she only really liked me because I was big and I made her ego. I literally filled her ego, because when she was around me when I was plus size, no men were coming up to me and talking to me. No men was buying me free drinks. A lot of men were not even paying attention to me. And now that I had lost weight, all the men were paying attention to me.
One time I worked with this GM who was just like,
I lost my best friend of 13 years because I was no longer the fat friend. After this night, I went and I jot down in my journal every single thing she done to me. And I probably didn't even put everything in this story because this happened like 2+ years ago. So we ended up deciding, instead of sitting down in person, let's talk on the phone. We talk on the phone and I tell her like, hey, like you've been doing a lot of weird things to me lately. And then I list everything she's done to me, and I like broke it all down. And I know it's not right to just unload everything on people at the like last minute, but sometimes I don't want to start problems, or I want to also see the full picture before I start making assumptions, and then it's too late for me, because once you do weird stuff to me, I cannot ride with you. Like, it's no coming back from me. It's just, you're weird and stay in that weird place. Like, that's your character. If it's something small you can work on, but your character is flawed. Went through the whole list. And she starts crying on the phone. She starts crying and crying and crying and apologizing and saying she's sorry she's made me feel that way, and she's been in a bad place lately, and like things have been going on with her, and she feels really bad that she's treated me like this and all this stuff. And I started feeling bad for her because I never seen my friend cry, and you know what I'm saying? This is my best friend for over 13 years. My heart, because I am a person that tries to help fix people. That was me when I was plus size. I was trying to fix people and be people's therapist, and I almost fell back into that mode of like, maybe I shouldn't leave my friend high and dry when she's going through all these family problems, and maybe I should be understanding. And so I told her, I was like, okay, like, I get you are going through stuff. Maybe I can help you through it. Maybe like I'm also not being a good friend. Maybe I need to. And then I had to correct my behavior, and I decided, after we had that conversation, we said we were going to sit down in person and try to maybe be more intentional with our time, and you know, and I was going to try to help her through her problems. Like, I'm a fucking therapist, what's wrong with me? I don't know. But I ended up texting her probably about a few days later, and I told her I decided actually I will no longer be able to be her friend. I don't want to essentially try to put myself in a situation where I'm trying to help her through her issues, and it's going to hinder and hurt me. And I'm in a season in my life where I've been prioritizing myself, because my whole life I have prioritized other people's mental health over my own. I've been like that since a kid. I've always took on everybody's problems, and that's what made me morbidly obese in the first place, because I was coping with food. I had a lot of trauma, and I'm not going to let my friend put me back in a traumatic space and me start taking and consuming her energy and her problems to make her feel better. And then again, that's me again working for her. That's how our friendship ended. After that text message, I never talked to her again. I lost my best friend of 13 years.
Wow, y'all, wow. So how do y'all feel about that? Because I've seen so many relationships go exactly like that, and it doesn't even have to be when it comes to weight. It could be finances. You know, that one friend that always had it, you know, then experience not having it. You know, it's so many things that could happen. So where you can see a different side of your friend, and at the end of the day, just like she said, y'all, that's a character flaw.
Okay, so I wanted to give y'all a quick story time about how I almost got trafficked with my best friend. Well, literally like set up in traffic. This is why you should trust who you hang around and watch your surroundings at all times. I was dancing in this little hole in the wall in New Orleans, and I had met this girl at the strip club my first night. She was telling me how she was best friends with my best friend, but I had never heard of this girl a day in my damn life. So when I asked my friend, at the time dance partner as well, I was like, hey, do you know this chick? She claims that she knows you. And she was like, yeah, she's cool, you know, she's been dancing here a long time. We consider her like an OG. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'm already getting in with the OGs. And if you know, you know, like when it comes to dancing, especially new, I was literally a baby dancer, like 19. I'm 27 now. She invited me to brunch the next day. Mind you, I didn't stay in New Orleans. I stayed to Mississippi, and I didn't have a car at the time. Like I said, I was like freshly out of high school. Then she pulls up in this Mercedes, and she texts me that she's outside. So yeah, I get in the car, and she was already being a little awkward. Like, she was cool for the takeoff, but y'all, once we got on the interstate, craziest shit I have ever heard in my life. One of the questions was like, how would your family feel if you never came back? Like, if they never seen you again? Like, girl, who asks that, first of all? But anyway, I kept going with it. So I'm listening. I'm just telling her stuff. I'm telling her, like, why I started dancing, you know, what's my goal dancing, because at the time I was really into, like, just the pole work. I cared too much about shaking ass and shit. And she was real fit, y'all. Like, this, I don't know. So also, I started to notice on the ride, you know, to New Orleans, I would ask to go to, like, fast food and stuff. She didn't eat fast food. Like I said, she was real fit, and she had a very strict diet. She's ordering, like, I think like a parfait or something from McDonald's. I was ordering, like, all type of stuff, you know. Y'all, wasn't the mission to go get brunch? Okay. So I'm texting my friend. She has my location. I'm texting her, you know, every time that we, you know, make a little stop or whatever, just to let her know, like, everything's okay. Like, I'm with such and such. You know, she real cool so far. So mind you, while I'm making these phone calls, the girl is also making phone calls, but it's like a man's voice I'm hearing. I mean, every time we stop, y'all, we could literally, like, and I brought my little chihuahua too at the time with me as an emotional support animal. I didn't care at all. I bring my dog everywhere. She would stop and, like, call this man every single time we would stop or pull over. And I'm just like, what the fuck? I told my friend, I'm like, girl, does she have a boyfriend? Like, I'm texting her, like, hey, you know she got a boyfriend or something? Because every time we make a stop, she's calling this man, telling him where we at. My friend was taking too long to respond after I asked her if, you know, if there was, like, a man involved or whatever. Did she have a man? Okay, we get to the girl's house. Y'all, tell me why we walk in and her lights are out. Her lights are out. So I'm thinking to myself, like, you know, what we gonna do if the lights out? You know, so guess who she calls? This man. So she's like, hey, like, the lights are out. Like, what are we supposed to do? I'm supposed to be getting ready for brunch, but the lights are out. Like, it's like as if the lights are out was like a fucking key word or something. Then we go to this motel type of place. Mind you, I keep telling y'all this is like 2015, 16 at the time. So yeah, motels, hotels, it really didn't matter. So we check into this motel, and girl, when that motherfucker got on that phone that last time to tell that man where we was at, I lost it. Because why do you keep calling him and telling him where we're at? Why does he need to know every little move? Like, it's not making sense. We get a knock on the door. It's the man. It's the man. He's like, hey, let me talk to you for a minute. Shorty walks out the door. Soon as he says, hey, let me talk to you for a minute, Shorty walks out the door. So at this point, I'm just looking at, like, you know, like, yo, what's good? And he was like, hey, such, and you're gonna need my number from now on. So I'm like, all right. I start putting it, I'm going along with it. I'm like, all right, what's your number? I put the number in my phone, and I'm like, what do I need to save it as? Like, what's your name? This man says save my number in your phone as King. So at that point, I literally lost it. I already knew what was going on. I had, at this point, acted like I needed to go to the restroom. Like, I got his number, you know, and told him it was nice to meet him. Was waiting on the girl to come back. When I came out the bathroom, she still wasn't there. It was still in there. Even taking a next breath without asking what the is going on. So he begins to ask me, how do I know my best friend? Like, you know, no, how do you know my best friend? It's like, oh, she's been one of my girls for a minute. one of my girls, like, what the fuck do you mean? One of my girls. She's been one of my girls for a minute now. Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck have I gotten myself into? I was literally shaking in my motherfucking pants at this point. Get a knock on the door. Do y'all wanna know who it is? Guess. Who's my best friend? I'm just waking up and I'm seeing all of you guys' comments, which I haven't even got through half of them. But let me first start by saying, why would I lie? Also, I think you guys are forgetting the part where I said we were on our way to New Orleans, so we made a stop. That wasn't the brunch spot. She came early that morning and came and got me. And I wanted to get something. I ordered something. And she didn't really eat fast food because she was on a strict diet, so she got a parfait. That's what I said. Also, the question that she asked about me never seeing my family again, it didn't strike a red flag to me at the time. Now, you have to know, like, when you're restating a story, everything to you is like, wow, okay, I get it. I didn't feel like that while it was happening. Right. When she asked that, she was putting it in a way of like,
hold on, y'all, my camera's about to die. I'll see you in a minute.
If he start acting a little funny around his birthday, just know that's not your man, sister. It reminded me of this time I was dating this man, and a couple days before his birthday, I'm like, what you doing on the actual day of your birthday? Because I was trying to make plans. He's like, I'm going to DR. I'm like, the doctor? He like, no, the Dominican Republic. So I'm like, who are you going with? Because me and you talk on the phone every single day for like the last 3 months. When did you? Okay. He's like, it's a boys trip. I'm like, okay, right? But I have no proof. I have to believe him. Whatever, he going on a trip. And I'm just like, he ain't with no boys. Because if you doing this stuff with boys, this is gay. And he just didn't give me gay, right? You going to like the petting zoo, petting goats, going to go see animals with the boys. Like, that's not a boy's itinerary. That's on a woman's itinerary. So I'm like, okay. So you know when you get to the resort and they give you your little drink area in the little front before you go to your room. He posts a video in the front area. What I go do, I go on TikTok and put in the search bar, all-inclusive hotels, Dominican Republic. Bingo, first one pop up, backgrounds match. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to do this. Right? I called the Dominican Republic, and I called him and said, oh my gosh, my husband's upstairs in our room. He needs some towels, and he just, he can never help himself. You know, can you please bring him some towels? They're like, well, what room is he in? I'm like, oh, I don't remember. Can you just look him up? Yeah, what's his name? I'm like, James Brown. They looking for James Brown. Like, I don't see a James Brown. Could it be under, is it Johnson? That's not his last name. His last name is Brown. So I'm like, okay, Johnson. Okay. And then they go, room 111. I'm like, okay. Oh my God, he's right here. He just came down. Just, we don't need the towels no more. Thank you. Right? Click, hang up, call back. Hello, can you transfer me to room 111? Moment of truth. Guess who pick up? He pick up. But you know I can speak a little Espanol. So I go, hola, señor. May I speak to Señora Johnson, por favor? And he like, she's sweet. My heart. I'm like, okay, because now I'm nosy. I'm like, well, who is this girl who you with? Just to make sure it's not like an aunt or anything like that, right? Okay, Señor, we see that we have you guys here to check out for tomorrow, but there's an error in the spelling of Miss Johnson's name that's keeping us from processing the invoice. Could you please spell out her first and last name for me? He's like, Katie Johnson. K-A-T. And I'm just like, okay. Thank you. Buenas noches, Señor. Oh, my little feelings was hurt. Did I feel crazy? Hell yeah. I felt like a freaking psychopath.
But God,
did I find out what I needed to know so I can leave that ninja alone? Absolutely. Two things can be true. Moral to the story, if you start acting funny around his birthday, he on a trip with a...
Listen, y'all motherfuckers stop playing, yo. Stop playing. What the fuck?
This man said overthinking isn't intelligent, it's an addiction of being in control. And basically that overthinking is a habit and it can be broken. Basically said that, y'all, 90% of our problems are not even real. You came up with those problems in your head. They say you carry 100 conversations with you on the day-to-day basis, and the conversations are not even real.
If you're an overthinker, I'm going to list out a couple of things, and you let me know if these things describe you. You're somebody who's very intelligent, but you come from a traumatic past. So because of this, you overcompensate by doing a couple of things. You like to self-sabotage. You like to indulge in substances every now and then. You forget a lot of your past, or you've forgotten a lot of your past until somebody reminds you about a certain thing. You are addicted to control because you never had any as a child. You are addicted to order because you grew up in a chaotic environment. If you fit this description, I want you to know, first and foremost, that you're safe. You're good. Tell yourself that. You have to remind yourself of the fact that you're safe and you're good. On top of that, you're doing a good job. Now, as it relates to the overthinking, I want you to know that a mental problem can rarely be solved by thinking more. So if you are stressed and if you are anxious, especially if you're in the house too, don't let me get started on inside thoughts, because inside thoughts, you go outside, touch grass, you come back with better thoughts. But if you're somebody who you spend a lot of time in your head, you have to ask yourself, when was the last time that I thought more and felt better? Just ask yourself that. And if you have a situation or a time in the past where you thought more and you felt better, I would love to know. Educate me in the comment section, because that's not how it works usually. What happens is that you will think and think more and you don't feel better. But by you thinking more, you will confuse this with you having more control over a situation. And that's not true. We don't have a lot of control over many things in our lives. And the things that we can control, we should control them. But the things that we don't control shouldn't be any of our business. We don't control these things. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We know what happened in the past, but that is not exactly the best predictor of what's going to happen in the future. So the present moment, which is all that we have, this present moment, you watching this video right now, that's all that we have. And you cannot be present and anxious at the same time. It's impossible. I've never seen a person who's both present and anxious at the same time. I've never seen it. You let me know if you've seen it. But you can't be present and anxious at the same time. If you're anxious, there's a good chance you're living in the future. If you're depressed, there's a good chance you're living in the past. If you're present, it doesn't mean that you don't have depression and or anxiety or trauma or different things that you wish you didn't have. But if you're in the present moment, it means that you can have fun. It means that you can actually enjoy life. And it means that you can be out of your head for just a couple of moments. If you spend a lot of time in your head, you know that one of your goals is just to get out of your own head.
I found out my husband is a pedophile, and I posted a video about it, and I left out most of the details, and a few people were asking for the longer version of the story and more details, so I will try to recall as many as I can. I'll start in August of 2024, which is when we downloaded Roblox for our kids. Biggest fucking mistake ever.
Roblox.
But they were asking if they wanted to play this game, and it seemed innocent. I mean, Roblox is innocent at the end of the day, but people like my husband are what makes it dangerous. So I had Roblox because my daughter wanted me to play that Dress to Impress game with her, and then my son wanted me to play that, like, Brookhaven, and he just wanted me to, like, follow him around in a car, and then that one where there's, like, a deer in the forest. It's pretty popular. That is why I had Roblox, to play with my kids, and also I could keep an eye on them like that too. So obviously they wanted my husband, their dad, to play too, so he also had Roblox. He started acting super weird probably around September or October of 2024. I never thought to check Roblox. I just thought that he was cheating again at work. He cheated so much that when he has a certain attitude or acts a certain way, I already know it's because he's cheating or talking to someone else. So he was doing that. However, I have absolutely no proof that he was talking to someone on Roblox during that time. December of 2024, my aunt passed away. That completely wrecked my family and I. It was horrible because for an entire year, we pretty much watched her deteriorate. She just declined, and It was from cancer. It was from breast cancer, and she passed away. It spread way too much, and she passed. She was like my best friend. I'm gonna try not to get upset, but I am. I took 5 days off of work. 2 were paid, 3 were not paid. And I was short $114 on a bill. Like, I was like, I just need this much more. And that was my responsibility to pay that bill. It was like the phone or the light or something like that, and I was short. And my husband told me, well, you shouldn't have taken that much fucking time off for your aunt. Which obviously, like, it felt like I got stabbed, literally. And I ended up shaving my head a little bit, and that's why I have like this little random patch of hair, because I was trying to shave my head and then it just stopped working. So the next month, January of 2025, my dad had his leg amputated and the fluid or whatever was building up too much. So they were just supposed to go in and do a really simple procedure to add a drainage tube into his leg. But when they tried to intubate him for surgery, the anesthesiologist says that they might have done it wrong. So that caused his oxygen to drop, and he went into cardiac arrest, and he ended up with an anoxic brain injury. So he's disabled now. He's like in a vegetative state now, and he's been like that since then. That first week that it happened, they told us that he was going to pass. We had just finished with my aunt's funeral and everything and still processing that, and now it's about to be my dad. So we were already trying to like figure out the funeral stuff. My mom was already there about like trying to figure out the funeral for my dad, because they told us that he was going to pass. During that week where they thought that he was going to pass, that is when my husband started talking to this little girl on Roblox. It was like February 2nd or something when he started to talk to her. And on the next part, I'll start to tell you about how he was acting while he was talking to her, and then how he got caught, with more details. Part 2 of how I found out my husband is a pedophile. So in part 1, we left off where he just had started talking to her during the week that my dad was supposed to pass, which was like February 2nd. That's when he started talking to her. From February 2nd to February 26th is the time frame of when they were talking. He, during that entire month, was acting like a fucking crazy, mean, horrible, like, I don't even know how to explain how fucking mean he was being, to the point where I told him, like, just go fucking live with your mom because you're acting like complete shit around me and the kids. He was in school to be a lineman, and he was working at a hotel overnight. At that hotel job and at school is when he would mostly be talking to this little girl. So like I said, I told him, go live with your mom, and I had told him that so many times before, like, just move out, like, we just need to be done. And he would always protest, like, no, like, I don't want to leave, this is my house, I want to be away from my kids, I love you guys, blah, 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 blah. This time, when I told him to go move out, he was like, yeah, okay, I'll tell my mom. And for some reason, like, all these fucking alarms went off in my head, because I was like, he's never willing to leave unless he already has another supply, because he's a narcissist. So the fact that he was willing to go this time, like, I knew that there was someone else. So February 26th was the day that my daughter caught him, and the day that I called the cops. I think that day he had taken them out of school early or something for some reason, and he took them to a park. While he was at the park with my kids, he was messaging this girl, and he referred to my kids as his niece and nephew. Not, like, obviously, because he was lying, saying that he was 19, so how would you have kids, I guess? I don't know. But yeah, he pretended that his daughter and son were his niece and nephew. And that's the conversation that I saw. So after he went to the park, he went to HEB, and he was texting me. I was still at work. I got off at work at 5 p.m. that day. So, when he was at HEB, I was working. He was texting me, like, what do I get for dinner, blah, blah, blah. And we decided to make homemade, like, make your own pizzas. While I was still at work, it was like 4:45. It was like almost 5. I was almost out of work. and I worked at a call center from home, so it was back-to-back calls. So my daughter comes into the room, and her eyes are like full of tears. She's red. She looks so upset. Like her eyes are like humongous, and it sounds like she's trying not to cry. And then I was like, what the fuck happened? Like, I did say that. I was like, what the fuck happened to you? Like, I was scared. I was like, what the hell happened? Because she looked so distraught. So then she goes and she tells me that while they were at HEB, she saw Daddy texting a girl on Roblox, and that when he saw her looking at his phone, he pushed her. So I told her, like, it's okay, like, go into the bathroom, like, clean yourself up. I was comforting her, but I was also still at work. So I was like, I really don't fucking want to deal with this. My heart sank, obviously. I was like, man, not this again. Like, I'm so fucking sick of this. So this part, I'm not gonna lie, is a little bit hazy in my head. I don't remember if I got off my computer while I was working to go and confront him, or if I waited till I got out. I don't remember that. I know I did come back to my desk. But this is where, I mentioned in the other video, he had 2 phones. Roblox was on both phones, but one phone only worked with like Wi-Fi, and it really didn't work that well. It was like almost broken, but it was like a brick. So it was YouTube Kids and Roblox, and that's it. So anyways, I go into the kitchen, that's where he is, and I'm like, give me your phone. And I didn't tell him like, oh, Olive told me this. I didn't say anything. I just said, give me your fucking phone. And he was kind of like scared looking, and I was like, give me your phone. He gave it to me. And then I went to take it to the room, open Roblox. I couldn't even figure out how to get to her chats. And I figured out how to get to her chats. A message pops up from me, but like it was him on the other phone telling her, unfriend me, don't add me, block me, like panicking. And then she did. So I only saw maybe like 2 minutes worth of messages before she deleted them. And then I couldn't see the chat anymore. I'm gonna make a part 3. This is where I guess it gets. Okay, part 3 of how I found out my husband is a pedophile. So when I got his phone and I saw just the initial messages from like that day, or that like those past couple of hours, the messages that he was sending her said something like, you have the face of an angel. I cannot believe last night was real. You have me bewitched by your angel face. Like, he's thinking about last night. And when I saw those messages, I thought that he was cheating on me with someone he worked with at the hotel, someone from school, or something like that. And they were just using the Roblox chat feature to communicate so that way I wouldn't see it on like the phone log or something. So that was my initial thought, was like, for sure he's cheating, but I never knew that it wasn't actually cheating. It was beyond cheating. I know that I'm gonna say like he was cheating, but like I feel like I can't say that it's cheating because it was a girl, like a little girl. And I feel like when you cheat, it's someone who's able to consent to having an affair, and that little girl could not consent. So that's why I keep saying, like, this is just the day when I found out that he's a pedophile. So yeah, before I knew her age, I just assumed that it was just him cheating, and I thought it was with someone at work, and he worked at a hotel overnight. So when he said, oh my god, I can't stop thinking about last night, I thought that he was, like, doing stuff with someone at work, literally. I mean, So just to, like, clarify with the timeline, it was around 5:30 when everything I started to talk to him about it. I called him over and I tried to ask him, like, what the fuck happened? Like, what is this? Like, what's happening right now? Like, you already know what I'm going through. Like, why are you doing this? He immediately shifted everything to me. He said that I'm a bitch, that everything that he does like that is my fault because I treat him like shit, and that he wants a divorce, and that he cannot stand me, and that I've made him miserable all these years. He's not going to stay here and get questioned by me. He doesn't want to talk about it. Like, he was just saying all this shit, and obviously I was so caught off guard because I was like, what the fuck? Like, the next day, this happened on a Wednesday. The next day was a Thursday, and I had, like, PTO on that day. And he was planning to take me to go see a movie. Because we weren't, like, truly, like, yeah, he was being an asshole, but we weren't, like, I wasn't arguing with him that much. I was just so depressed. So, the next day we were supposed to go see a movie, and he was like, I'm gonna get your ice cream, and, alright, sorry. That part just really gets me mad, or upset, sad. So, yeah, I was telling him, like, we were supposed to see a movie, like, we were fine, like, I'm so, like, not that we were perfect, like, I know that he was acting a certain way, but we, like, in that moment, I was just excited about going to a movie with him. So, all of this getting, like, dumped on me, and then him saying all that stuff, like, I was like, what the fuck is it? Like, I felt like I was draining, I'm not even kidding. So, we were talking for a while. I wish we would have waited until the kids were asleep. We weren't, like, yelling at each other. We were talking, and they were, like, on their iPads or something. So then, my kids, they ended up going to sleep. We put them to bed. We feed them, and we're just not talking about it. Once they go to sleep, I had his phone still. I took the other phone away, and I don't even remember where I put it. The second phone, I hid it somewhere. And on his, like, regular phone, I had the password changed so that way, like, I could address everything and see, like, what was happening and who she was. So then, once the kids are asleep, I go back on his phone, and I had taken pictures on my phone of, like, the messages where he was saying, like, how she has the face of an angel or whatever, and how last night was just so unbelievable. So I saw her username, and I went, obviously, and I added her from his account. She immediately accepted it, and then she started being like, oh my god, are you okay? And I didn't want her to be suspicious that it's not him and then delete me, because then I wouldn't be able to see all of the messages that I needed to see, and she ended up deleting me. So I only saw maybe like a week's worth of a message, and I took pictures of that. For that week, it was probably like maybe 300 pictures. I don't even remember. So I was just trying to screen record. I had my phone and I was recording, and I had like a 20-minute long video of their messages, and from his phone. So I was pretty much like recording with my phone onto the other phone. So then I started to get a weird feeling, that intuitive feeling that I told you, like, I just feel like this is so much more sinister than him cheating. Like, I just feel like there's something else. Like, I didn't know who this girl was. He didn't want to tell me her name. He actually lied to me and the cops about her name, even though he knew her real name. So I asked him, I was like, how old is this girl? And he was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how old she was. I don't know. And I was like, you're lying. You're fucking lying to me. So then I asked him, how old did you say you were? And he was like, 19. So then I messaged the girl while she was still friends with him, but it was actually me. And I was like, how old are you? And she sent like all these question marks, like several of them. And it was like confused. Like, she was like, what do you mean? Like, how, you know how old I am? I'm 15. I told you so many times. Like, and then I got so sick. I just felt all of this get so hot. I felt it just come up. I vomited in the bathroom. It hurt so bad because it just came out like projectile into the tub. And then I was shaking. I felt like my, I'm trying not to cry. Stop. I felt like my legs were so wobbly, like I couldn't even stand up. So I came out of the bathroom, and my desk was right next to the bathroom, so I sat on my chair, and I looked at him, and he was on the bed across the room. And I told him, she's a kid, like, I'm gonna call the cops on you. And he started panicking. He was like adjusting himself, and it honestly looked like he was rocking himself back and forth, I guess to try to comfort himself, I don't know, but it just reminded me of like a child when you catch them doing something wrong. And I felt this really weird feeling about seeing him, because I didn't even see him as like a person anymore. I felt like I was sitting face to face with like a demon. It was just pure evil. I could feel it. And it wasn't like a scared feeling where I'm like, oh my god, is he gonna get up and hurt me? Because if we're being honest here, we're the same height, and I honestly think I could fuck him up. So it wasn't that kind of feeling. It was more of like just this sinister, evil feeling that I felt when I looked at him. So I guess part 4 is next, and this is when I call the cops.
Alright, y'all, so I'm gonna stop that video because we're gonna continue that in the next video, on that video, because this video is getting really long. I'm looking at this time up there and I'm like, girl, you gotta get it together. But amen, say man, you have made it to the end of this video. Yes, you have. But y'all make sure y'all like the video, y'all subscribe to the channel, and tell me how you feel about this video. But I will see you in the next.
I was a terror since the public school era. Bathroom passes, cutting classes, squeezing asses. Smoking blunts was a daily routine since 13. A chubby nigga on the scene. I used to have the tray deuce and the deuce in my bubble goose. Now I got the Mac in my knapsack lounging.